Hey guys, welcome to the class number 3 of Adobe After Effects series, and today we're going to learn about different tools and panels and the settings that you need to know before you get started. I will not make it a long tutorial. I will keep it short and simple so that you can just watch this tutorial and move forward. And from the next class, I will try to show you different projects and different things that you can do using Adobe After Effects so that this series doesn't turn into a boring class. I'll try to keep these classes pretty interesting. So here the project that I have prepared. If you want to open the project, you can download it from the link below and you can open it on your After Effects. So this is the basic panel when you open the project. You can go to window and then you can select the workspace default and window, workspace, reset default to save layout. Then you will get this kind of layout. You can click on any panels to expand that panels. And yeah, that's the workspace, pretty similar to mine, right? So on the top you'll see the menu bar. The first one is the Apple menu, the next one is After Effects menu, and from here you can go to settings and change different things. You can go to general and change the general settings that you want to change, and from the file you can access the file menus. From the edit section you can see the keyboard shortcut. If you want to change any keyboard shortcut, you can go here and you can manipulate the keyboard shortcut if you want. Next, composition settings. This menu will contain the settings of this composition. You can change the composition settings and whatnot from here. And from the next menu, layer settings and then effect settings. This is the same settings. You can apparently access the effects like the effects panel here. Similar effects are available here, so you can use this panel or you can go to effects and there you see all the effects. Next, the animation, then view, window and help. Next to the menu bar you will see a toolbar. These tools are very important, so I suggest you to memorize the tools shortcut. Suppose if I here on the hand tool, right, I can change the view of my composition preview. And now I want to go to the selection tool. So if I just press V on my keyboard, I can select the selection tool. So I don't need to go here and select it manually. So memorize the keyboard shortcut. The first tool is home tool. If you click here, you can go to the welcome window or home window, and from here you can access to your previous projects and you can open new project and you can just close it like that. Next to that, the selection tool, you can select any layers or object here on your composition panel. The next one is hand tool. Suppose you're working here. Now you want to see the layers here. You can just click and drag it using the hand tool, so the preview of your composition panel changes, right? There is another way that is much convenient. So if I here on this selection tool, now if I press spacebar on my keyboard, you can see the selection tool turn into a hand tool, right? Now I can click and drag it like that to change the position. And there is another way. If you're using a mouse that has a clickable wheel, then you can click the wheel and then you can change it like that. To reset the view, you can zoom out using the zoom tool. So here is the zoom tool. Now if I click it, I can zoom it. If I want to zoom out, I have to press Alt or Option on my keyboard. Then if I click, it will zoom out. If you want to reset the preview and if you want to make it fit to the preview window, you can just click here on the bottom section, this arrow, and then click on fit. It will set to fit to the window. And the next tools are grayed out because these are 3D layer tool. So if you enable 3D layer here, now this tool are accessible. I will discuss about this tool later on this series when I discuss about the 3D layers or 3D camera. For now, I'll just disable it. The next one is rotation tool. So I can just select the rotation tool, and if I select suppose this text layer, I can rotate this text layer, right? Now we can see the text rotation is happening from here on this starting section because the anchor point is here. You can move the anchor point by selecting the anchor point tool or the pan behind tool. Click and drag it here. I want to rotate it from the middle section. Now if I select the rotation tool, I can rotate it from the middle. There is another way to set the anchor point to the middle section. So just select the layer that you want to change the anchor point to the middle section, and then go to layer, and from here go to transform, and there you will see center anchor point in layer content. It will set the anchor point to the center. Next, that is very familiar tool, that is the rectangle tool. If you click and hold, then you will see there are different tools here. You can just select any shape to make a shape here on your composition, or to make a mask. So the thing is, if there is any object is selected here on this layer panel, and then if you draw any rectangle or any shape, it will automatically convert to a mask. But if you deselect the layers by clicking on the outside, and now if you click and drag it, it will make shapes. So you have to remember it when you are making any shape. Make sure there isn't any layer is selected. If you select any layer and then if you draw a shape, it will convert to a mask. So we don't want that. Just deselect the layers and then click here on any shape, and then you can draw the shape. If you press shift, it will make a shape that will have the exact proportion. Suppose I want to make square. So when I am dragging, if I press shift on my keyboard, I can make a square. If I release the shift, it will convert to a rectangle. So the next one is the pen tool. You can manually draw shape. So if I click and drag, I can manually draw a shape here. Next to that, type tool or the text tool. So if I select here, I can select horizontal type tool or vertical type tool, and I can click here and I can write whatever I want. So I'll delete this text layer. The next one is brush tool. It will not work on our composition layer. So if I just select it and if I click it, it will not work. So in order to work with brush tool, then stamp tool, and clone stamp tool, then eraser tool, I need to go to the layer panel. So here is a photo. If I just click and drag it here on my composition, I can double click here. It will open the layer here in another window. I can click and drag it here to just set it on a single window so that we don't waste our space. So this is our layer window and this is our composition window. Those are different. So when you are in composition, if you click on any layer, it will open that layer on a separate window. So here is our photo. If I just double click here, I can open it on our layer window. Now I can use the brush tool. Suppose I want to draw, I can just draw here. Suppose I want to remove this too, so I can select the clone tool, and then if I press Alt or Option on my keyboard and then click here, I can sample this section, and now I can just brush it to use the clone tool, right? Just like that. So if you're using Photoshop, then you might be very familiar with this clone tool. It will clone the section and it will stamp it there. So it also works for videos. You can do the cloning thing for your videos too. The next thing is eraser tool. Suppose I want to delete this section, so I can just select the eraser tool and then I can click and drag here to remove this section. And from the brush settings here, you can just increase the diameter of your brush, and then you can just click and drag it to erase this section. Now it is showing black color because we haven't enabled this one, which is the toggle transparency grid. If you click here, then you can see this section has been deleted. So these are the tools that you need to know for now. The next one is the roto brush tool. We need to have a separate class for that. Also for the puppet position pin tool, we need to have a separate class on that, because those things should be discussed elaborately. Okay, now the next panels after our tools panel is project panel. I have discussed about that on our first class. So from here you can make new composition, you can import different files, you can import Premiere Pro projects or whatnot, and from here you can make folders, you can make new composition, you can set different things, right? Next to that, our effects control tools. So from effects control, if I use any effect, suppose if I go to our effects here and search for effect, maybe glow, and then if I use any glow, this is a third-party glow plugin, so if I use this effect, it will make this text layer glow, right? So I can change the glow properties from the effects control. So whenever you are applying any effects from the effects panel, so if you need to change anything or change any properties, you need to go to the effects control, and from there you can alter or change the properties of that effect. Next to the project panel, this is our composition timeline, right? So when you are using Premiere Pro, there is a timeline, and this is the timeline for Adobe After Effects. If I play it back, you can see the playhead is going on. You can change the playhead, and these are the layers. In Premiere Pro, we organize the footages or assets one by one, but here in After Effects, we organize the footage or asset one after another. So it's work like Adobe Photoshop. So how does this layer works? Suppose this is a smartphone, right? So just assume this is the background layer here. And now if I want to add a remote control, I can add it, but it will not cover the smartphone. You can still see my smartphone too, right? So layer also work in this way. The layer underneath will be covered up with the layers in front of it. So here is the shape layer. You can see it is covering our background layer. If I click and drag this background layer on top, it will cover everything. So make sure when you are working, you organize the layers as your requirement. And here you'll see the small menu icon. You can click here and change different things. And these are the visibility icon. If you want to disable any layer, you can just click on this eye icon. It will disable that layer. Next to that is our audio icon. If any layer has any audio, you can enable or disable that audio using this section. And next to that is the solo layer enabling option. Suppose I want to just see the After Effects mystery, this text. So I can just click here on this section. It will make that layer solo. Again, I can enable another one. So I want to see how does this text look in front of the background. So I can just click on background. So this two layer will show up only. Other layer will be hidden, right? So I can just disable it, and I can see everything. And if you want to lock any layer, suppose I don't want to move my text, so I can just lock this layer. Now if I click and drag it, it will not affect the text layer, right? So if I just select it, I cannot move this one. It will select the background beneath it. So if I just lock the background, I cannot select anything from here. So if you want to lock anything, if you don't want to move or change anything, you can lock it using this section. Now this is our layer name. You can just rename it here if you want. And if you click here on this arrow, you'll see every properties of that layer. Suppose for this tools, if I click here, I can go to the text section. I can select the source text. Then from the transform, I can suppose want to increase the scale, I can do it. I can change the position, and there are some shortcuts that you can use. Suppose for the shape layer, I want to change the position. I don't want to click here every single time, so I can just press P on my keyboard. It will reveal the position, then I can change the position. Suppose I want to change the opacity, I can press T on my keyboard. It will open the opacity. Now I can decrease or increase the opacity. Again, for the scale, I can press S on my keyboard. I can change the scale. And of course, if you want to change manually, then you can click here on this arrow, and then you can reveal the transform properties or the content properties from here. And there are some properties that you can enable or disable. Suppose you want to have motion blur, you can just enable motion blur for the layers from here. And if you want to make this layer 3D, you can just click and drag it here. We'll learn about this when we work on different things, right? And this is our modes. you can select the blending modes from here, and this is the track matte. You can select track matte, and this is the parent link. If you don't see this option, you can just right click here, and from the column section you can enable or disable it. Suppose I want to disable the modes. If I click here, it will hide the modes. If I want to again enable it, I can right click here and then columns, and I can enable the modes. And this is our playhead. From here we can select the layer and we can move it here on the timeline, and using this slider we can zoom in or zoom out to our timeline. And also there is another option you can use to zoom in or zoom out. So this is about the timeline for now. And here on the composition section you will see different options. Suppose you want to increase or decrease the preview, you can do it from here too. You can click here, you can make it fit, or you can just go crazy like 800% or whatnot. Again, you can just make it fit from here. This is the playback resolution. If you have a complex scene that has a lot of effect, you would want to lower the resolution, then you can just click quarter and it will lower the resolution, and it will have easy time to render the playback here on your computer. And if you want to have full resolution, you can do it too if you have a purple computer. And the next section is faster preview. You can select here, and from here you can enable wireframe. It will just show the wireframe, it will not show the actual content. And you can select adaptive resolution. It will adapt the resolution depending on the needs. If there is any heavy effect, it will reduce the resolution automatically. For now I'll just select it off. If you want to see the transparency, you can select toggle transparency grid. Suppose if I disable the background layer from here, you can see there is a black background, but actually there isn't any black background. The background is transparent. So if I want to see it, I can just click here. Now you can see the background is transparent. So I can just disable or enable just by clicking here. Again, I can enable the background from here. And the next one is mask and shape path visibility. So here is a shape. If I click here, I can disable it, and now you cannot see the path here on this shape, right? If I enable it, now you can see the path here, right? So it is much easier to work with if you enable it. And the next section is region of interest option. So you can resize the composition using this tool. So if you just click here, now if you go here, you'll see there is a plus icon. Now you can click and drag to select a portion of your composition. So sometimes we need to crop our composition. Maybe you need to resize the composition. So you can just select how much cropping you want. Now to apply the resizing, you need to go to the composition, and from here you need to click on crop comp to region of interest. It will crop the composition just like that. Again, you can press Ctrl or Command Z to undo it. So when you are doing that, suppose I'm cropping this section, now I need to reset it. What you need to do, you need to just press Alt or Option, and then if you click here, it will reset the cropping. And the next section is enabling or disabling guides and rulers. You can click here, and then suppose I want to enable the safeguard, I can enable it, and from here I can also disable it. If you want to add grids, you can do that. Then you can add guides, you can add rulers using here, right? So I'll just disable all those things. For now I don't need it. Now if you want to see the channels, then you can click here, then you can see the red channel, you can see the blue channel. So you can just select it and it will show the channel separately. I will select RGB, and from here you can change the exposure of your composition preview. You can decrease it or you can increase it, and to reset it you can just click here on this icon, reset exposure. It will reset the exposure, and from here you can make screenshot. Suppose I have disabled this one. Now I can just take a screenshot and then I can just enable it. Now suppose I want to see the before and after placing this shape. I can select on this eye icon. Now it will show the before and after, right? I can just press and I can click and hold here to see the before, and if I release it, it will show me the after. So basically these are the things that you need to know about the composition preview section. On the top you'll see different workspace. You can just click on any workspace to activate it. You can use different workspace based on your different needs, right? Suppose if I want to do animation, I can go here and then I can click on animation. It will show me the panels that I need for animation, and if I go to default, it will show the default panels, and you can organize those panel. And if you go Windows and then if you go to Workspace, you can save that. Suppose I want to save it as my name, James, right? So I can go to save as a new workspace, and then I can click and I can write James, and then if I click OK, it will make a new workspace. Now if I want to activate James, I can just go there on my James. Suppose I am here on standard. Now I want to go to my save layout or save workspace. I can just click on James. It will show me the panels that I need for my purpose or for my needs. So that is all for today. I hope you have liked this video. If you have liked this video and learned something new from this one, you can give me a thumbs up. If you know this channel, want to learn Adobe After Effects, then make sure you have subscribed to this channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, goodbye.